We have a confident team. I mean, when we take the floor, we believe we're going to win every time we take the floor. And I think that our coaching staff has done a good job instilling confidence in our players. We try to be very positive. But if you take our guys one by one, is what I meant, Paul, we don't have the Joey Rodriguez's of the world that, you know, Joey felt like he was better than LeBron James. I would say really Briante and Melvin, personality-wise, are the two just naturally confident, swagger-filled guys. And then we've got a lot of other guys that are more laid back and very humble. And there's something to be said for that, too. But I think, you know, when you add it all up, the guys believe in one another. And, you know, we have a confident team, but there are times where individuals, you know, in order to win big games, you know, individuals need to be able to step outside of themselves and play with great confidence.
Well, for lack of a better description, how valuable is pedigree and the fact that you have guys that have been on this, not only been on the stage, but have been successful on this stage?
Well, I think, you know, winning experience is very helpful this time of year. You know, our guys, especially our juniors and seniors, have won a lot of big games in March and been a part of some very, very close games and, you know, tense games and games where there's a lot on the line. So, yeah, it's very valuable. It gives you something to draw on. You know, when you're in a situation, you can look back and say, okay, we've been here before, we've done this. But at the same time, you still got to go out and play. I mean, you still got to perform in the present moment. And, you know, for our guys, every team is new. Every team has new leadership. We don't have Joey Rodriguez out there. We don't have Jamie Skeen. We don't have Brad Burgess. But this year's team has done a lot of great things in the past. Guys on this year's team have done a lot of great things in the past and this year. So the great thing about this opportunity starting Thursday is we get a chance to create more terrific moments in March. Keith is he's my best friend in coaching, and I don't have a lot of friends in coaching. It's a business where, you know, you just don't have time to socialize a lot or spend a lot of time messing around with anybody. But Keith's a guy that I worked with for 3 years. He's unbelievably good to me when I was at Akron. Really took me under his wing, and he didn't know me from anyone, and I didn't know him. My first day on the job at Akron, he was an assistant at the time, and I'd never met him. I'd heard about him, but I never met him. He took me at lunch to go work out LeBron James, and so I'm standing there in a rec center gym at lunchtime in Akron, my first day on the job, and LeBron James pulls up in a Hummer. He's a senior in high school. It's the end of it. It's like May of his senior year. And Keith and I proceeded to work him out for the next 2 months. Well, take that back. I helped Keith. I mean, I really didn't say much for the first few times because I was in awe. But, you know, it was a great experience. But that's the type of guy he is. So, yeah, when we found out we were playing Akron, I guess some of the guys on our staff kind of thought it might happen. I hadn't thought about it at all. But, you know, my first conversation with him was, you know, I still love you, man. And he said the same thing. But, you know, he's a competitor. He's going to do everything he can to have his team ready to win, and so will we. You know, his team is the one, one of the 3 or 4 teams around the country that I really, really pull for, and I watch any chance I get. You know, Akron, Florida, you know, Oliver's teams. So it's that'll be different. But as of now, you know, 2 days before the game, tomorrow, the day of the game, everything will be the same in terms of, you know, doing the best we can to try to win.
Coach, troubled by fouls in the A-10 tournament, or is that sort of an occupational hazard how you play?
I'm not troubled. I mean, it's something that we need to get better at, and it's something that has affected us at different times over the course of the season, and not just this season. But yeah, you're right. It's with the way that we play, it can happen, depending on the opponent, depending on the day, depending on the officials. I mean, we all know that different games can be called differently, and that's because officials are human beings, and some see the rules one way and some see the rules another way. But it's certainly something we need to get better at. We don't want to send people to the line 25, 30 times. I think it's a function of multiple things. First and foremost, the aggressiveness with which we play. Secondly, the fact that we're undersized. And third, I would say, sometimes the game is called tighter than others. Their half-court defense is very, very good, and all you got to do is look at the numbers. I mean, they're really defending people at a great rate, in the half court. So it'll definitely be a battle of styles of play, because we're going to need to get the game going our way. We're going to need to get some points in transition. We're going to need to try to speed them up. I think they're playing a little bit slower now, without Abreu, and they're even more oriented towards throwing the ball inside, which has always been Keith's deal, but even more so now. I mean, every play they're going inside to Zeke Marshall, inside to Demetrius Treadwell, and then, unlike most teams, when they throw it out, it's going right back in, and that makes them unique.
You mentioned
A lot of people don't talk about this, but the number one reason that we have a much better seed is because we played a better schedule. And, the committee, a lot is said about the selection committee, but those guys spend a lot of time, and you can't dispute that. I mean, they look at these teams' resumes inside and out. And, maybe you can debate the last couple picks in the at-large field, but they know what they're doing. And so our schedule this year, between our non-conference schedule and then obviously our Atlantic 10 schedule, it's the best regular season schedule that VCU's ever played. And I think with the number of top 100 and top 50 games that we were able to play, and then, we won our share of them, that's why we're a 5 seed. I say we, not me, but some people may take it for granted, but this doesn't just happen every year. It's not a given that you're going to go to the NCAA tournament. Certainly not a given that you're going to advance. So if you do get the opportunity to do those things, you want your family and the people you love to be able to enjoy it. For the coaches, I mean, it's a lot of work, to be honest. I mean, our guys aren't sleeping much, but we love it. I mean, we love it. We're up in the film room together at 2, 3 in the morning, and because we have a close coaching staff, and because guys don't really have egos or aren't sensitive, it's just all about our team. Every once in a while, we may reflect and say, "Hey, we have a really good opportunity in front of us. Let's be appreciative of this." And then for a moment or two, you take a minute to think about where you are. But otherwise, it's just full steam ahead towards winning your next game.